Orlando is so physical with the Knicks. They just
Orlando. I'm not worried about the Knicks maybe losing to Orlando. It's just coming out of the playoffs like healthy. You have your whole rotation.
I'd be nervous once again because of how physical they are that somebody just
is gonna get hurt.
Randomly gets hurt and then you lose them for the next round.
Paolo Banchero is the most overrated player in the NBA. People talk about him as a star. That's PB, no J. He stinks. He nearly gets a double-double with turnovers every night. Yeah. The other night, he had 24 points. Guess how many free throws he made?
16.
Yeah, 15? He shot 16. He made 13. 16.
Yeah.
If you're making 13 free throws, that should be a 50 ball, right?
Yep.
Like, this guy stinks. And Franz, so much better.
Franz is actually
the Magic
should
build around Franz because he actually plays with the team way better than Paolo does. As a Knicks fan who might see the Magic in the first round, I have no fear if Franz Wagner's out. If Franz is back, that adds a little bit to it.
I mean, you got to think about them and their playoff experience too. Like almost making it out of the first round 2 years ago, and then last year getting demolished by Boston. Do they really have that experience? Paolo's pretty young. He's not really proven much in the playoffs, really. He had one, maybe two really good games, but it's not really much to be scared of. Desmond Bane, who's been really good in the playoffs
Desmond Bane has been awesome this year.
So he's honestly been a really good player, but the Magic, what they've been doing is weird because they traded for Desmond Bane, you trade all those picks, and you're going for what Boston did, right? You're going for those two wings that are really good defensively. They have strong offensive minds. But one, you don't have a good big. Wendell Carter is a serviceable big. He's not what you need if you want to take the next level.
No.
You have Jalen Suggs, which is like putting Pat Beverly on the Boston Celtics. I'm sorry, but you don't need more defense.
I mean, but he's a pretty good offensive player.
He's a good player.
Definitely better than Pat Bev.
Yeah, 100%. But you don't need that. You need a creator. You need somebody who can dish it out. You need somebody who can help Paolo and Franz move off the ball. And Suggs just really isn't that. That's if Desmond Bane was a true point guard, maybe. But he's not. He's a scorer.
I agree. I completely agree. And we'll stay in the East. We'll do these next few quick. Good. I like that Knicks talk. Great job, guys. That was awesome.
Thanks.
I haven't gotten that in deep with Knicks talk with Jack and Jared. But now Jared's a newfound Knicks fan, so can get him going. Hornets storming to Boston last night, win by 20 plus.
They're scary.
They've won 6 straight by 15 plus. You just mentioned that you do not want to see them in the first round. I agree.
The Hornets have 6 or 7 players that could average like 20. I'm sorry.
Can't you just round up?
They're going to end as the 6 or 7
No, because they
too.
genuinely do. They have a couple of players that can average more than 15 a game on any given night. Con Canuple is one of the best rookies. He's the second best rookie, in my opinion, behind Cooper Flagg.
I didn't realize how phenomenal of a season Brandon Miller is having.
Brandon Miller's having a great season.
He's averaging 20. LaMelo's actually having a down year in all their success. He's shooting career lows.
They somehow got it into LaMelo's head that they can win without him taking 75 shots a game. I don't know how they did it.
And he cut down on the turnovers.
Exactly.
If you give young guys nowadays any confidence whatsoever, they are going to take that and they are going to shoot it up by 10% and they are going to roll with it. And that's what you're seeing right now with the Hornets. They're literally just hooping. They're having fun. And now that they've seen that they can win those games, their confidence has gone through the roof. And one thing that I like to say about basketball, 90% of it is mental. 10% of it is actual skill. That 90% of being able to see that you're able to win those games is going to take them so far.
And you heard it here from a former women's basketball champion here at Five Towns College. And that's kind of like you guys know Yogi Berra, obviously, right? Yeah. Yankee legend. That's a Yogiism. He had all these quotes that don't make sense. He said, baseball is 90% mental and the other half is physical. Like, okay, Yogi. He said, sometimes I take a 2-hour nap from 1 to 4. Okay. What does that mean, buddy? But he'd say it's very legendary.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Hornets, I mean, LaMelo, less than 20 points per game on the year. Con is averaging the same amount, 19.2. Brandon Miller, leading scorer, averaging over 20. Kobe White, awesome addition at the deadline, averaging 18. They're so balanced in their attack.
My biggest concern with the Hornets is that obviously they can't win the championship this year. They're just not like good enough, right? They're a really good team.
They could go second round, though.
They can go second round. They could upset a really good team. They could upset a Detroit, a Boston. Not the Knicks.
I think the Knicks match up very well.
They match up very well. They've smoked them the last couple of games, but that's neither here nor there. They're new. My biggest concern with the Hornets is this season is all said and done. You had a pleasant turnaround. Where do you go from there? Because
Do you add another star?
We've seen this for 95% of the teams in this position, where they trade 2 or 3 of those young guys for a star. Pans out sometimes, most of the time it doesn't.
I don't think they will. And the center, what I don't want to say diabetes, but Diabate. He's been good, but he's kind of small.
He's very
so
small.
I think that might be the move for them.
I'm hearing
is
a lot of chatter.
five.
I'm hearing a lot of chatter for Bam Adebayo. I'm hearing a lot of chatter. Obviously, Giannis sweepstakes are never going to end.
Yo, Bam though.
Bam Adebayo
that
on
would
there.
be the
That'd be
move,
scary.
but
But
you'd
Pat-
have to give up.
Pat Riley is an old man that doesn't think for himself. He doesn't think for the team. He thinks about love and compassion and friendship. So he's not going to trade Bam Adebayo
We still hate you, Pat Riley.
unless it's for 72 first-round picks and for LaMelo Ball himself. So that's not going to happen. As much as Charlotte would be good if they got a cool little bundle for Bam Adebayo, it's just not going to happen. One, Pat Riley loves Bam Adebayo. He loves Tyler Hero way too much, and he's just not willing to trade anything for anything.
Wasn't he gonna like retire Jimmy's number while Jimmy was still playing?
Yeah, and not give him a contract extension.
Guy makes no sense.
So
I feel like they just got to add a little bit of vet presence next year. Like obviously they have like this really young core, and they could go first. They could go second round. But if they add, I don't even care what position of experienced vet presence in there, they could honestly go far in the next season as well.
Yeah, I mean, I agree too. They're trajecting up from here. They're trending towards a top 5 seed in the East next year, which is kind of awesome to see. Charlotte. I mean, I've never known the Charlotte Hornets as being a good team.
yeah,
Back when they were the Bobcats, all that crap, like
Yeah,
Melo dropped 62
yeah.
on Michael Kidd Gilchrist and Al Jefferson and friends. They were an awful team.
Jefferson.
Awful. They've always been awful when I've watched basketball. So this is good. I like seeing a new team, come on the scene. But staying in the East, Jason Tatum is making his return imminently.
That is such a mistake.
let me bring the Celtics fans down to earth, right? The best player, one of the best players to ever come back from an Achilles tear is Kobe Bryant. Wasn't the same player. Kevin Durant, who took a year longer than Jason Tatum, who's had the best recovery of an Achilles tear, averaging 26, 6, and 8 this year, and has been consistently averaging 27, took an extra year to come back from the Achilles tear. And before that, he was a better player than Tatum ever was. So
Tell
Tatum is coming back earlier than Kevin Durant, earlier than Kobe Bryant, earlier than Dominique Wilkins, earlier than Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
What can we expect out of Jason Tatum?
I think it's going to be a strict minutes restriction off rip. But the Celtics are good enough without him.
They're very good.
They're very good. The thing that they're missing is the big down low. Like the Kata has been good, definitely more than serviceable. Vooch has not been what they wanted.
Not at all. Terrible pickup.
He's had a few good games.
Simons was
He's
so
not
good,
even
too.
as good as Al Horford last
No.
year. He's not, and Kata is nowhere near Cornette and Porzingis.
Mm-hmm.
So that's their flaw.
The biggest issue with the Celtics is I think they're too young. Right? I think other than your big two of Jaylen Brown and Derek White, Peyton Pritchard is really good, obviously. You're too young, right? You got I forget his name.
Schneeman,
No, Keita.
Shireman.
The Shireman has been solid so far. Obviously, Pritchard is always going to be a 6th man of the year candidate. Jordan Walsh, that's who I'm forgetting. He's been
Jordan
pretty
Walsh.
solid with the sparse minutes he's
The
been given.
edits that they put of Jordan Walsh on Instagram are the funniest things. dude.
It's really funny. It's
It's
really-
like this one girl is like, why am I bald? And then it like morphs her face into Jordan Walsh,
Jordan
and then
Walsh.
it drops into a highlight reel.
Yeah, but so I think they're a good team. I think competitively, I'm just like not afraid of Boston this year.
I'm not either
I think
after last
If
year.
you're really considering how good Boston is this year, they're nowhere near as good as they were last year. Right? This team is not as good as that team with Porzingis, with Al, with Drew Holiday. I don't care how washed they are. They're not worse than a couple of young guys who's going to have their first playoff experience. Right?
I'm gonna completely agree. I still think they're a threat though.
Yeah. I think Hugo Gonzalez is really good. Fantastic defender.
He's been awesome.
But I think specifically him, he's going to have one of those games in the playoffs where you realize we can't play this guy. He cannot make a bucket.
Yeah.
He can't score to save his life.
Just whatever. Yeah, he's not going to be too much of a threat. He might have one good game out of his 6-game set.
Yeah. So
Sid, what do you think about Boston?
The way that Tatum plays, like how he's trying to be physical, like he's a big guy. Like
His shot form is the
he's-
funniest thing ever.
but
like a
an
straight
Achilles
plank.
tear is like no joke.
No, it's the worst injury in sports.
It is. I mean, you just look at like, once again, we go back to Damian Lillard, who did it last year. He's a smaller guy, not trying to do as physical things as Jason Tatum is. Yes, I know he is older than Jason Tatum, but like that is something that you really can't come back from like so soon.
No,
he could get super injured again and then basically risking not only his career, but like the future of the Celtics as well with him. Like he could be ruining his chances with them.
Yeah, to risk it all. I mean, and I'm going to close the Celtics talk with this. Just give me a yes or no, no explanations. Can the Celtics win the finals this year?
No.
Oh, quick. I think they can still. I do, and I'm not going to. We just talked about them.
No,
I just
no
think that they
explanation.
have championship culture. That's it.
You just said that. No
I know,
explanation.
we got to move on. We got to move on. Taking it out west. Staying kind of on the same topic, who has the best chance to overthrow OKC in the West?
Spurs.
The Spurs are the best team that I've seen this season. They're just crazy good. Victor Wembanyama, Devin Vassell, Stephon Castle. Stephon Castle, by the way, makes the entire De'Aaron Fox trade irrelevant. I have no idea why they did that now.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
It's true. It's kind of a different type of player. Stephon Castle's a lockdown defender on every guard in the league, pretty much, besides SGA. He does a great job on Brunson.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. That's one of the better one-on-one defenders I've seen on Jalen Brunson.
I've seen a lot of criticism about, but it was only one shot. But I'm like, I'm sorry, Stephon Castle wasn't letting him shoot. Right? The second that the mismatch came, and Mike Brown, I will give him credit for that, because the second that Stephon Castle leaves, he was like, Jalen, you have free reigns now.
Go to work.
And that's exactly what he did.
And
right?
I like that because Stephon is a big dude.
Yep.
6'5", pretty built. Like and he can move his feet with Jalen. Jalen's quick. We know that. But why do the Spurs have the best chance other than Stephon Castle?
I mean, it's just the core that they have. They have solid veteran presence, guy who has won rings before in Harrison Barnes. They have probably the best big rotation in the league with Luke Cornett and Victor Wembanyama, right? Obviously, I think second to that would probably be Mitch and Cat. But that is just fantastic 1-2 right there. You come off the bench. You already have an elite big off the bench, right? If Devin Vassell isn't shooting at a high clip like he's been all season, you have Julian Champagnie right there. That man has also been shooting lights out, right? Stephon Castle.
Keldon
Johnson has also been playing amazing. He's in a bit of a slump right now, but honestly, when you get drowned out like that, not to mention they have the number 2 overall pick in the draft. What is it? Dylan Harper?
Yeah.
Dylan Harper. I always forget his first name.
I always confuse him with Ron Harper.
There are so
Jr.,
many Harpers in the league.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dylan Harper, who honestly I think would be having a more impressive rookie year if he wasn't on such a loaded team. But honestly, like this future is so bright. They remind me of when Oklahoma took that jump 3 years ago.
I'm going to completely disagree with you guys. I think it is the Minnesota Timberwolves. I do not, and I'll tell you why it's not the Spurs, right? They don't have Wemby has not proven to be Batman in the playoffs. He's never played a playoff game. I think when it comes to playoffs, it's a different brand of basketball. You need the experience. The Spurs will make it to the second round. When they see a guy like Jokic who has a ring and has proven to be Batman, when they see Anthony Edwards, a guy that's carried his team to back-to-back conference finals, I think the lights will start to dim on the Spurs. They'll get too bright. Opposite, rather. And I think like Anthony Edwards, the T-Wolves and the Nuggets might not have as good of a roster. But with a guy like Jokic, with a guy like Edwards, that's who you need in the playoffs. And Murray is a playoff riser for the Nuggets. Like, this dude is just a straight walking bucket every time we see him perform in the playoffs. T-Wolves do not have a point guard. That's a problem. They have Dante DiVincenzo running point. Yeah. That's definitely a problem. Anthony Edwards is good at creating for himself, not the best creator for other people on his team. But he's still going to get you 40, and they play good defense, and Julius is going through a little bit of a slump. Before that, he was having a phenomenal year. I think it's the Wolves still. I think that might be the Western Conference Finals again.
My biggest if factor for the Wolves is Naz Reid, right? Like,
he's awesome.
I
when
think
he wants
he's
to be
a fantastic player, but there are those nights where he's just the outlier. He can't play, he's not the best defender. His frame is kind of weird, right? Because it's like he's really tall, but he's a little stubby, so his arms don't always reach the defender, right? Gets blown by a couple of times. Dante isn't the best defender. I've seen him slip a couple of times this season. I think that when it comes to Minnesota, it's just how they play as a unit. Mike Conley isn't the point guard he once was. I think their biggest regret was not getting a point guard when there were a couple of point guards available, right?
I thought it would have been awesome if they brought in Garland.
Garland, they had a couple of players there. I promise you, if Kyrie Irving was on a competing team, he would have came back from the ACL injury. It's been a very long time.
And that's another thing, right? We haven't seen Kyrie Irving play basketball in over a year, and that's an ACL. And we see Tatum rushing back from an ACL after
going
10
back
months.
to that. Yeah, that's insane.
I mean, after an Achilles.
I think they dropped the ball with the Kobe White trade. I know Kobe White is more of a score first point guard, but anything honestly at this point is probably better than Mike Conley.
They don't have that creator.
They just, even somebody who is a third option creator that isn't Naz Reid, that's like a point guard or something like that, that can open the floor for Anthony Edwards to be able to do his thing, that can give Julius Randle his 2-3 isolations a game, or something that like Rudy Gobert has kind of stepped up his offensive game a bit this year. I've seen
He's having a phenomenal
I think Rudy
year.
Gobert's biggest problem was always he has butterfingers, so he never actually knows how to hold a basketball
He's
properly.
also just like a doofus. Like,
I can't stand
He's Karl
Rudy
Anthony
Gobert.
Towns without the offense.
yeah, it's
I
like way
actually
less
can't
swag.
stand him.
Yeah, it's just like he's very long, very clanky. It's just like it's kind of disgusting sometimes watching him play.
Yeah.
But, to your point, you were saying earlier that Denver might not have the same team compared to the Spurs or Oklahoma. I actually completely disagree with that.
Yeah.
I think this Denver team, fully healthy, can compete with all of those.
Fully
guys.
healthy,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Aaron Gordon.
Fully healthy, that record is a lie.
Yes. What I've seen from the Nuggets recently is just not great, but Jokic and Murray just keep them in games, and they get Peyton Watson back. If Aaron Gordon comes back, that is a dangerous team.
Very.
Who have a chance to beat the OKC
Peyton
Thunder.
Watson?
That went to, what, 7 last year?
Yeah, exactly.
In the second round?
Exactly. Peyton Watson is the third best defender in this league. I'm just going to say it. Peyton Watson
He's awesome.
is, see, when it comes to wing defenders, you think of the top, the Jaden McDaniels, the OG Ananobis, the Tatums and the Browns. Peyton Watson is up there defensively. He is such a good defender. He's physical. He knows what he's doing. He knows his role perfectly in Denver. And I'm honestly, I just can't wait to see him healthy.
I mean, this show could go on for 3 hours. We were getting a lot of deep talk. Like, there was several things that you just said that I wanted to like
Unpack?
Yeah. But we're on a time constraint here. But Sid, who's coming out the West if it's not the Thunder?
See,
it's the Spurs, right?
I was also on the Spurs train. I just think they're super consistent this year. It's when, of course, they're healthy. Obviously, when Wemby goes out, it takes a little notch. But I think they're just super consistent. Like they had an 11-game win streak in the month of February.
Yeah, before the Knicks got him.
Can you be quiet for a second?
Oh,
They're once again super consistent. They have a very deep rotation on almost every position. Very good defensively. Once again, it's just whether or not they hit their open shots. I very much like the Spurs because they've shown that they can beat Oklahoma multiple times this year.
yeah. Yeah. And not always fully healthy for the Thunder when they've matched up, but I still think it's the Thunder in the West. And yeah, that's like saying grass is green, but I still think
I'm
there's
just
no
hoping
one.
it's somebody
I don't think
different.
there's anyone in the league
hoping.
that competes with them on a nightly basis.
Well, the
let alone a
interesting
playoff
thing about the
series.
Thunder is this year, J-Dub hasn't been playing with them. They've been very injured recently, right? You know, obviously Shea only has a couple of games to come back, and they've still
Hardenstein
been
just went down again
very
last night.
solid. But you got to understand that how that operates when it comes to the playoffs. You cannot be the Thunder and go into the playoffs without J-Dub, having an injured Alex Caruso who just went down last night, having an iffy Isaiah Hartenstein. No matter how good Shea is, you saw it with Jokic when he was winning all those MVPs, but Murray was injured. They weren't going to do nothing.
Yeah, but
they were top seeds.
They could go 13 players deep, though.
They can go 13 players deep, but are those 13 players as serviceable as the Spurs' first 7? No.
If J-Dub misses, say, the first round,
Yeah.
they'll still win.
They'll still win the first round, yes. But the thing with J-Dub is he'll come back. And just like he did in the beginning of the season, you don't know. You don't know how fast he's coming back. He came back from an injury, got injured immediately again, right? Shea, he played really well last night, but there's still a lingering thought about, hey, maybe he can get injured again because it was 1, an ab strain, 2, apparently there's a little calf strain going on with him.
I mean, you can take into the example Jokic was out for all that time. His first game back, it was the one game before they played the Knicks in that double overtime. You could see the fatigue in him, and you could see that he definitely wasn't at his best. He had wide open shots to beat the Knicks in that double overtime game, and he just could not hit them.
Yes, and I'll just close it with that with this is if there's any team that can afford all these injuries and any team that we talk about as injuries being the only way for them to be overcome, it is the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah.
My thing is, do you really trust a Kenrich Williams and Isaiah Joe and a Casey Wallace to win you
Isaiah
the
Joe's
title?
shooting 43% from three.
He's
this
taking
year.
2 threes.
Yeah, okay. He still plays his role, and Jared
He does.
McCain was a great trade too.
Oh, don't get me started on that.
All right, we're not gonna get you started
Daryl
on it.
Please
Morey,
don't,
you
please
need to
don't,
go to
please don't.
prison.